homies. For this interview, we got the awesome Future Holotape. This guy's absolutely amazing, and if you didn't know, they were the very first one to give Flashbot a gig at the Lot 1 Cafe in Echo Park, which is, near LA, in Los Angeles County. So yeah, that was the first gig ever played as Flashbot. It was, they were the promoters for that one, so it was awesome. Super stoked to have them on the show for the interview. Hope you enjoy it. Hey, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. All right, that's okay.
Here we are.
Yeah.
What is up? Yeah, with the Zoom, with the audio, it's always I don't know, it always takes a minute for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, how you doing?
Pretty good, man. How you guys doing?
Taking it easy. We were just playing Avengers.
Playing Adventures, okay.
Yeah.
MMO?
Huh?
Is it an MMO? I think,
No,
is it massively multiplayer online video game? Kind of like WoW?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a story. I think it has a online kind of thing where you can, go and team up with people, but I haven't really dug into that at all.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah. We're going through the story. Sorry.
No problem, that's sick. What other kind of games are you guys into?
Oh, I don't know. We've played everything. She's into horror games like crazy.
I mean, you too.
I'm into horror games too. It's I tried playing Silent Hill when I was younger. It took me forever to finish it because it scared the crap out of me.
Though.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of puzzles. But I don't know. I feel like lately we've just been doing a lot of Switch games like Crash Team Racing.
Sick.
Crash, yeah. We still haven't even got to Spyro yet. That game is hard.
Finished Crash, all the Crash.
No, yeah, we're still on the second one, and it's we'll get back to it. But there's just some levels that are just a pain, and it's kind of hard to get, through.
I totally feel you. I love the Resident Evil series. I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. And have you played Resident Evil 7 in VR? Have you guys had a chance to do that?
No,
not VR.
That would be frightening. But
I feel like I'd lose my shit.
Trust me, do it. Trust me, at least once. You gotta try it out. No, I love the Resident Evil stuff, and I love Friday the 13th. I don't know if you guys mucked around with that at all.
We didn't get to play that one because that one's on Xbox.
No, it's on PlayStation.
Oh, I guess we just never
got around to it. I saw a lot of people play it, and it looks pretty sick. But yeah,
It's pretty awesome.
Good story?
No story. It's only online.
Ah, I see.
What are you guys? What am I doing right now?
No, in the game. I'm
in the game, so one of you, it's I think it's 8 people per round. One is Jason, and the other 7 are camp counselors.
That's already funny.
So the Jason dude, his goal is to kill the camp counselors. The camp counselors have to work together to get out of there. They have to rebuild a car to kind of hop in and get out, or they have to call the cops. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun.
Let's see. I don't get how we missed that.
That sounds so anxious. I'd be so freaked out, but I want to be Jason every single time.
Yeah, it's you can set your preference, but it's usually at random. So, but it's fun. Definitely hop on. And if you guys do, add me. You guys on PlayStation?
Yeah, we got a PlayStation Network. We're usually on hers. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You guys don't really need 2. We have 2 accounts, and then we're just we'll just use yours. It's okay.
I'm guessing you guys are going to go PS5?
I want both because I know they're going to do Xbox exclusives. But I don't know. I feel like they're both going to be good regardless. I'm not too crazy about the way the new PlayStation looks. I feel like it looks like a spaceship.
It's huge in comparison to any of the other consoles. That thing is massive.
It's a beast, but I think the Xbox look is pretty sick. The Series X, right? That's just the black one.
Yeah, I think so.
I think
dude, Oh, please go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I think we're probably gonna get the ones with the CD drive or
Yeah,
DVD
hell
For
yeah.
old people.
Yeah.
Dude, like I am hoping because I'm a VR guy. I'm hoping that they'll have like a VR
Oh,
for the PS5. I hope because
I'm sure
Oculus.
they will. They have to.
yeah.
That's that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. You know, I realize a lot of people in the scene are super video game influenced. Like, is that one of you guys' influences too for the music or no?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's pretty much video games and movies. Like when we worked on our first record, it was all like, all right, this is a Blade Runner kind of feel. When we did Lawgiver, of course, it's like Dread.
That's comics.
Yeah, and then comics. Yeah, a lot of Silent Hill stuff. Like we went through that album and we were just like, oh man, this sounds like Silent Hill. We gotta use it. Like it was like, what does that mean? You know, it just sounds like Silent Hill. It's good. It could be like some random like. Oh no, yeah, that's Silent Hill, dude. Like throw it in the album.
Do you guys sample at all, or is it all like from scratch?
No, I mean sometimes we like tweak sounds, like, but most times, like I think when we really got into sound design was for like Terror District 1. Like there was a lot of cool stuff. Like pretty much everything in there is just like either the MS-20 or the MS-2000, and it's just like random sounds that we just destroy sounds and like, oh, that sounds cool. The motorcycle for Blood Call in the beginning was the MS-20. I remember I was trying to figure out how to get like a bike sound, and it was just like you pitch it down to a point and then you get this like blum, blum, blum,
Essentially,
blum, blum,
you
blum.
like hotwire it.
Yeah. The way I was doing it was using instead of having the trigger, just using the two cables as a trigger. So
That's
that was
sick.
cool. Yeah, and you'd get that, and then you hit the trigger on the switch, and then it goes straight to the sound.
He's lying. It's not the MS-20. It's literally him just doing that noise.
Yeah,
right
it
now.
was. We were recording, and there was a microphone.
Yeah, see, exactly like that.
That's amazing. I think like the first time I saw you guys was at the Whiskey, and I forgot exactly who all was playing on it. I remember you guys because you had so much hardware on stage. I thought that was so sick. Like you don't see that often. Like so much hardware, and I love that you guys use it live as well in the studio. Like, what got you into hardware?
I think we're just like
being nerdy, I guess.
being nerdy. Like, yeah, I mean, mind you, when we were first working on stuff, there was not like a lot of analog stuff around. Like I remember we were out in Echo Park, and there was just a studio out there with people selling stuff, and one of the doors was open and they had an MS-10, and we were freaking out. We're like, oh my god, like we've never seen this. I mean, it's everywhere now, but I I have pictures somewhere of us posing next to like an MS-10 because it's like.
Well, I mean, like we're huge comic book nerds, and it's like, you know, you see like reissues of like really old comics, you're like, oh, that's cool, and then when you see the original, you're like, oh shit, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like kind of transferred, you know. It's like you're like, oh, that's cool. Like they have like, you know, sound pack of all these like MS-20 sounds and shit, like Korg Legacy or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And that was cool, but then when you see like the actual hardware, it's like, oh my god,
yeah,
awesome.
it's great. Like we started using Korg Legacy, and you did MIDI, I did MIDI, and then we had a VA synth. I had the R3. You had the microchord. Did you only have the microchord?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, well, because I had the microchord and then the MS-2000, but that came later.
That came later, yeah. Yeah, so we started pretty much with digital synths, and then little by little, it was just like, you know, oh man, I wish we could have that. And my dream for the longest was like, man, I really want a full-size MS-20 and like a Dofer what was it, the dark energy and the dark time, because I saw Alan Palomo was using some of that gear. I would watch Neon Indian interviews, and he had that, and yeah, I was like, oh man, I want that. And the same with Julie, and she fell in love with the MS-2000, and she's like, I'm getting it, and she just like showed up, and I was like, holy crap, we don't even have like a, because you got it used, right? You got it from someone.
Yeah.
And then, and
I was like, I'm done.
yeah, sorry. I have 10% battery. I just realized that.
Oh, great.
Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, this little guy right here wants to hang out.
He keeps smacking me in the face. His name's Gordy.
Yeah.
Gordy, that's amazing.
Yeah, he's been flashing me in the face. I don't know if you've noticed me like whipping.
Yeah.
He's hitting me. He's beating me up.
Yeah.
He needs attention. He couldn't function without it.
I just thought it was a nervous twitch.
No, I swear I'm pretty normal when it comes to that. I was just getting beat up over here.
I'm a wireless charger.
No. Wireless charger? What year are you living in? Hold on.
Oh, snap. Yeah, no, I mean, we've come such a long way. It's weird because we were working on stuff like 2011, 2012. I think we started actually releasing stuff in 2012. And then we were going around like trying to find our sound, and everything was, and when we did the first record, it was just like, oh man, well, let's see if this sounds cool. But then we got to Terror District 1, and it was just like full-blown nerdiness. We were like, all right, it has to be a story, very like comic book essence. Like, we need to have sci-fi sounds. We need to like make our stuff, and it was fun. And then when we got to the last record, we were just like comfortable with where we were musically, and then we just kind of like let it drive.
Oof. That's so. You both produce. You guys both perform together. Were you guys producing before you know each other, or did you guys like start producing together, or like how did that work out?
No, it's funny because we were. How did this happen actually? Because I was in a punk rock band. Actually, the last time I played a show with this like group of friends was the first time that I had met her. So that was the last time I played a show. And then kind of drifted off from like that band, and then we met new people, and then we started kind of like an indie band. This is like probably 2010. And then everybody left again. And then we ended up, she was like, I could do these keyboard parts. And I'm like, all right, let's try. And she was just a natural, like in all honesty.
That's amazing.
She was already a musician. And then like, we kept working on like fundamental stuff, but then she started like writing. And then we did that, we had done we released like an EP called Outset maybe like a year ago, or was it like it was like a year ago or a year and a half?
Like, yeah, I think closer to like 2 years. It's just a collection of a bunch of old tracks that we never released.
Yeah, a lot of people thought it was like new stuff, and we're like, no, it's just a bunch of old stuff that we had like ages ago. Yeah, and I mean, we've come a long way. It's been what, 2011? Shit, 9 years.
That's a long time. It's almost a decade.
Yeah, it's almost a decade.
That is absolutely nuts. Do you guys have anything planned for your 10-year?
No, I actually just like realizing it's been 9 years.
Yeah, that's just something that we don't really talk about unless somebody asks us, and then we're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be 10 years, and then we forget about it because we're old.
Was it? I'm wondering if it's gonna be 10 years on this Halloween, or no, it's gonna be next Halloween, right?
I don't know. You're asking me like I know. I don't know.
Because sorry, I'm trying to remember the first time we played a show. We were at as
like an
as
actual
Future Holotape.
Oh, okay.
We were at the airliner, and I think it was in 2011.
I mean,
I gotta look through our stuff, but yeah, that's crazy. No, I mean, I'm sure we'll play a show hopefully after all this blows over. It sucks because we did have a lot of stuff planned, and you know, everything just kind of fell through. But I feel like it gives more time for us to prepare for what's to come, you know.
No, definitely. Like COVID like affected everyone, dude. It's been absolutely nuts. What have you guys been doing since COVID? Like, how are you keeping busy? Like, are you streaming? What are you guys doing?
We stream from time to time, but not too much. To be honest, we post so that we're still like there, you know what I mean? And we talk and engage with people that talk to us. But as far as
it's hard for everybody, you know. It's hard to be motivated. You know, it's hard to be like inspired or creative. I think in the beginning, since we didn't really know how long this was gonna be, everyone was like, "Yeah, I'll just stay home and write some music, whatever." You know, it's chill. And then like you realize that you've been sitting down trying to write music for like going on 7-8 months. I honestly don't even know where the time is right now. But like you know, and you're just like, oh, all I can think about is like, you know, I'm slowly just rotting away.
Oh, no.
I don't think anyone wants to listen to that.
Yeah, no, it's been a lot of jumping back and forth with sounds too. It's weird because we have like a library of music, and it's like stuff that we didn't really release off of the first record or the second record or the third record, and now we're just like, should we release more stuff? But I love that idea of like keeping it fresh and also having like a story, because we've probably written the story past the next record. And
wow.
Yeah, and it's just because we get in the car sometimes.
Well, we're nerds.
Yeah, and we're like, man, that would be so cool. Sit down and just
start talking about stuff, and then we're like, yeah, we should write music for that, and blah blah blah. And I mean, we have some stuff that we're working on. But it's just right now, it's just like no pressure, you know.
Yeah, it's just kind of like there. I don't know. I miss playing shows so bad, man. It's been like forever.
I just miss going out.
Yeah. I was telling her the other day, I'm like, man, you remember what it's like to like sit in a restaurant and get food and out? Yeah. Yeah.
If you had to pick one performance that's your absolute favorite, which one and why?
Ooh, that's tough. You go first.
No, you go first.
I don't know. I feel like there's so many good ones, but you know what? I think the one that was really, really epic for me was 2014 when we played in Arizona. It was the first time that we had ever got out of California, and
that was a good one.
It was crazy because so many people showed up, and it was like Ghost. I met Ghost and Protector 101 for the first time, and then you know, it was Dance with the Dead's second show. Kyle came out, and we got to meet Dress to Kill. It was just a lot of positive vibes that night. It was a lot of
we met a lot of people from like the OG like synthwave scene and stuff like that.
Yeah, we were like, what?
And I mean, everyone was just super chill and super nice. So that was definitely like one of the highlights of any of the shows that we've ever played. Yeah. Let me see. For me, it's probably a tie. I mean, that's a good one. That one's definitely up there, but it's probably a tie with Rhode Island.
Definitely, yeah.
Oh my God, what was that for again?
Neon Retrofest.
Retrofest.
Yeah.
That one was cool because it's kind of like the same thing. We met a bunch of people from the East Coast who were, you know, we've been talking to forever, and communicated with and stuff, and we hadn't met before. And so that was really cool. We met Marco Merrick for the first time.
Oh my God, that's right.
Jazzy, a bunch of other people, you know, and they were just all awesome.
Yeah, they
like,
were
it was
the
super
best.
fun. Like, we had like the worst jet lag ever.
Oh no, yeah, that was
and
true.
we got there and like we literally just like left our shit somewhere, and then they're like, oh yeah, we're like a couple drinks in, you guys want to like, you know, have a couple drinks, and we're like, well, we can't say no. You know, we stayed up until like I think like 4:30 that day, and then the next day I don't think we went to sleep until like 5 a.m. or something.
Yeah,
and it was fun.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because we got there and it was Wave Shaper was just finishing his set. Then Robert Parker goes up, and we're like, "What the hell's like? This is sick. There's nobody cool people."
And Dana Jean Phoenix,
Michael,
like everyone was there, and they were all just amazing. Like, you know, it's just awesome being able to like meet these people. Like, you know, not only are they extremely talented people, but they're like super, super nice.
Yeah.
You know, and it's always kind of like, I guess, I don't want to say like this like apprehension or whatever, but you always have this like little kind of thought in the back of your head, like, oh well, this person's nice right now, but what if I meet them in person and they totally suck, you know, whatever. And it's awesome because everyone was great,
super,
you know, and that's always like really nice, like going out and, you know, playing shows with these people and, you know, getting to know them and then finding out that they're all just as nerdy as we are, you know. Definitely cooler than we are, but, you know, they're little nerds too.
I think it was crazy when we met Marco, though, because Marco probably was one of the first people to hear our music and help us push it, because he was doing Synthetics. Right?
Yeah.
What was it called?
Yeah.
The podcast.
Yeah.
It was just Synthetics.
Synthetics FM?
No, Synthetics Sunday.
I don't know. You asked me like I know. I already solidified I don't know anything.
Yeah. And then we sent over Cult Hallucinations or Replicant off of the first album, and he was like, holy crap, this sounds so good. Like, and I remember at that time we were working off of a laptop, and it was like, I mean, it dropped out all the time. There was so many issues when we were trying to record.
Oh my God, Replicant? Like, I don't even remember what the original sounded like, but we were working on it probably for like 7 hours. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, the laptop craps out, and somebody wasn't used to hitting control saves.
Yeah.
So the original, like, I still have it in my head that original was just so much better. Like, it's still one of my favorite songs. Yeah. But damn, like, I cannot tell you how the original sounded. It was like super different.
You spend so much time.
God, it drives me crazy.
Oh, this is a good like snare. All right, no, we gotta do this. We gotta add this, and then everything. Like, we didn't even get to keep the drums. It's just everything's gone.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then, like, literally, I'm not even kidding you. It was like 7 hours of putting shit together. And we're like almost done.
Yeah. And
it just craps out, and like shit like that just makes me want to quit.
No, I remember. You remember? Yeah, I was like, no, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. And then she's like, no, it's fine. It's fine. Put the Blade Runner documentary on. We're gonna be good.
I was just as pissed. But I was like, if we don't try to like get it right now, we're not even gonna get remotely close to it again. So it's like we either sit down and try to like hash it out again, or leave it and then don't get the song written ever. So yeah, it super sucks, and I blame him.
Yeah, it was my fault.
Don't ever work with him ever. He doesn't know how to save.
Oh man, I mean now you got autosave. But
okay.
Yeah, that was bad, man. But it happens.
Dude, we've all been there. We've all been there.
Don't try to make
remember. I remember Ableton, because I'm on Logic now, but like on Ableton, it's all about that Command S, dude. Like, over and over. You got to. What DAW are you guys on right now?
Huh?
What's your DAW of choice at the moment?
Oh, well, I mean, I've been using Sonar forever, and I know, like, there's no updates on it or anything, but, I mean, there still hasn't been, like, that many issues for me. When we worked on our first record, we had worked on Sonar Home Studios, which is, like, old. And then we slowly upgraded. I think when we finished Tier District 1, it was X2, right? We were on X2 or X3, I don't remember. But I remember right before they had announced that Sonar was gonna be closing its doors and Cakewalk was gonna be doing stuff. I had bought everything for it, all the plugins, everything, the like master series, and yeah, it was trash. I was like, there's gonna be no more updates. Like, no, I'm gonna use this. And we did Dreaming of Connections with that, and I think that's like our best sounding record. I mean, was it the most fun? It was fun, but I don't know. I'm a part one guy. Like, I loved when we were working on Analog Renegades, because it was like the first time we were like trying to find our sound. We're like trying to figure stuff out, and but yeah, I think sound wise, I'm really proud of how the last one came out. It sounds like so much better.
That's crazy. I mean, you guys have so much material. Like, there's really a lot to dig into, and I absolutely love that. Like, I love when I find an artist that's dope. Like when I heard you guys at the Whiskey A Go Go, and I was like, I'm gonna have to check these guys out. And there was just a lot of material to check out, and I love that. And the one thing I also noticed at that show, because that was one of my first shows I started going to in the synth scene.
Oh, no way.
Everyone, yeah, it was not the first, but one of the first, and everyone is so damn chill. Like, everyone is so nice. And like everyone comes from different backgrounds. Like, I come from like a rock and metal background mainly. Nice. And like from that scene and like playing guitar and all that shit. And I feel like a lot of people, like, I've seen obviously a lot of metalheads.
Yeah.
A lot of even some people from the hip hop scene, which has been weird. It's so cool that it's all inclusive. What do you feel makes this scene different than other scenes?
Friendships. I feel like everyone, like,
friends.
Friendality. No, I feel like everybody is just like very talented and very nice. Like, I don't think we really ever had an issue with anybody. It's just like, let's just go, let's play, let's see, who we're gonna find. And usually every show, everyone's super duper nice.
But I think, like, I mean, for me, at least, a lot of the people that I know in the scene are just big ol' nerds, whether they're metalheads or whether they've, like, done hip hop and stuff. Like, people are horror nerds, or they're, like, comic book nerds, movie nerds, whatever. And everyone's just chill. And I feel like one of the things that I think is funny about this scene is that everyone thinks that everyone's a lot cooler than they actually are. Like, you talk to them online and people are very like aloof and stuff, and you think, oh, they don't want to talk to me because they're too cool. And then you meet them in person and you're like, oh, you're just really shy.
Yeah.
And I mean the same thing. Like, I've heard people say that I'm very like antisocial, and I suck at talking to people.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I just try to like keep my distance. I'm like, if someone wants to say something to me, I'm here. But yeah, like I have like word diarrhea.
No, I mean, for the most part, even with like when I'll like be online a lot, but there's just times where like sometimes people say something and I'll like miss that message. And I've talked to them afterwards, and they'll be like, yeah, man, I thought you were like a dick or something. And I'm like, no, I probably just missed that one. But like,
I mean, you've heard this guy. It's all about friendships. He's practically Barney. Like,
what? Barney. Oh, come on, guys. Yeah. Yeah, but I think that's probably one of the best things. Everybody is super chill. I mean,
yeah, but I also think like musically, like, what's different about synthwave is that you can do so much. Like you could have a hip hop background, or and really use that for like percussions. Like that knowledge comes in
that's
for
true.
that, and like there's a lot of people who came from like playing guitar, like being in rock or metal bands, and they're like really awesome at developing leads and shit. And like there's a like it's really just like I guess a culmination of like 80s with electronic, and 80s there's so much, you know, like you have electronic hip hop, you have like, you know, like guitar and like pop music, like Prince, Bowie and stuff, you know, and that's like, you could honestly do whatever you want. And I think that that's what attracts a lot of people to it, you know? It's a playground.
It is a playground.
It is. I absolutely love, like, if you listen to a lot of the synthwave stuff out there, like you were saying, like there's so much different influences, just depending on who you're like listening to, from pop to rock to metal to shit, probably polka somewhere. I'm sure polka wave exists somewhere. But what got you guys into synthwave? Like, what was like your introduction to it, and what made you like decide to kind of go into that retro realm?
You go first.
I mean, I've always really liked 80s pop and electronic music. You know, like I don't know, I listened to it a lot in like middle school and high school, and even then like I would wear these like massive like bright colored earrings and shit, you know. Like, but it was like I was that person that also listened to like punk and like goth and stuff, or like grunge, and most of my outfits, most of my closet was like black or like neon colors. There was no in between. But definitely have always like grown up being a huge fan of like 80s. I mean 80s period, you know, whether it's pop, rock, whatever, you know. I think that was just a really fun time for music, you know.
It's funny because like when I was doing that punk rock project, and then I went into the indie project, I was getting super into like Deadmau5 and like Wolfgang, Garner, and like that kind of stuff. And it was actually Julie that ended up showing me all these like artists like Twin Shadows and Neon Indian and Cold Cave. And when she started showing this stuff, I was just like, dude, this is so sick. Like, I love it. And this idea of like, she was the one on the keys first, and I was just playing guitar. And I was just like, nah, man, I need to get on that keyboard. That's like so sick. And then I had just got the R3, and then little by little just started. It was the R3 and the Chaosilator. Those were the only two things that I had. And then you had like a arachnid rack of
I had
keyboards.
one of those like spider racks.
It was a 3-4 tier thing.
3-tier, and then I had another stand on the side, so I had like essentially 4 things going at the same time.
Yep. And you had another keyboard on your left side.
Yeah, so I always think it's really funny when people say like, "Oh my gosh, you guys have so much hardware! Like that's so cool." We're like, really? Like we've minimized it.
Yeah, it's funny.
We have so much. Like it was exhausting carrying it, but then we're like, oh, we need to take it. But then it's like, as soon as we had to like unload or like load our stuff back in the car, it's like, I regret everything.
Yeah, it was like a stack. We always had, we had custom made these cases because we couldn't find any cases that were like hard cases. So it was, we were just buying wood constantly. It was like this carpet material that we had covered it with. So it was most 80s looking cases that looked new, and it was stacked up to like my chest on a dolly, and we'd like roll it into the place, and they're like, what the fuck's going on? And our keyboard stands, and we did that for a minute, and now we've like minimized. Now it's like one board, or no, we got 2 boards. No, I have one.
No, we've done like one board. I think for like the whiskey show, I think we each had like one board and one stand each. Yeah. You know, which it used to be 2 and 2 each. And then we'd have like the double tiers going and stuff like that.
Yeah, it would
like,
just be hiding.
It sounds cool visually, but not when you're the one who has to carry it.
Yeah. But you know what? It was great because I feel like you were just hidden and no one sees you. And it's like, oh, this is the best.
Like,
yeah, I am. No, but now it's like with our current setup, it's just like the essentials. Like Julie always has the MS-20 Mini on her left side and then the mic mini log on her right, so she can do bass and chords, and then she has like her.
No, you're still thinking of the old setup.
Well, what's your setup?
I don't remember. We're just like constantly changing stuff, but like I think right now we've like I mean our studio stuff, like for our live sessions, like we have everything out, but like when the last couple of shows that we did, I had my mini log and then either the microKORG or microbrute, and that's about it.
Right.
You know? And then you have your freaking.
Well, depends, because
yeah, see, depends.
Depends, because I ended up getting rid of like 3 keyboards, sadly.
By getting rid, he means, you know, off to the side on another stand, not anywhere else.
No. I had sold the mini.
Oh, that one, yeah.
And then I sold another synth. Oh, the DeepMind. I got rid of the DeepMind, sadly. It was a great synth. It's just like so complex. And whatever. I sold something else. And I just felt like it was just overwhelming. It's like, why do we have like so many keyboards? Like usually when we play, we just have like a couple well, I have a couple sequencers and I do leads and I sing, and she does more like the body of the music. She'll do the chords and the bass, and she has her sequencers as well. You do remember?
I do the fun stuff.
You do. We played once at the Echoplex.
Oh, and I did the vocoder?
The vocoder thing was so sick. Everyone was like, what? She's doing it. Like, it was a collaborative song that we had done with Syak Striker. It was called Hold of Me. And it was a fat song. I'm not going to lie. Like, that guy has massive talent. And we did that song live, and she did the vocoder part. It sounded so freaking huge. Nice. Yeah, no, it varies. I feel like it always changes. Yeah.
Do you guys ever like do it depending on venue size?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Or traveling.
Yeah. That always has a factor in like what we decide to take with us and stuff. You know, and sometimes it's also just like, you know, I don't feel like taking it today.
Yeah, no, sometimes it's a lot of work sometimes, man. It's like for instance, I made the modular setup that I have specifically for shows, and I just wanted to do like all modular analog stuff. But it's heavy, and then I freak out because I'm like, what if I drop it? What if something happens? And especially for like smaller places, I would just be like, nah, we're just gonna take the vocal bass, the keys, and I'll take this like the R3. You know, like I'd rather take something small, but still be able to do what I do. And the same thing with Julie. She'll either have like the whole full rack of everything, your Arturia, your Korg stuff, and then it's like, you know, sometimes like traveling. When we went to Rhode Island, we both took 1 keyboard each, and it was like, we miss our stuff.
We've done that a couple of times.
Yeah.
You know, and I always feel like, oh my god, I'm making it. Like,
yeah, it's scary when you go from like having stuff to like, oh, I'm just playing with the mini log now on a keyboard stand, or I had just the MS-20 Mini. That's all I used. I didn't. Yeah, I had patched in the pitch bend on the button that it has, and the mod wheel was modulation, and it worked. I was just like, this is great. It was a cool show. It is as funny as it sounds to have just 2 keyboards that are really small. I saw the pictures and it was nuts because the whole back wall was like an LED screen, and it said like Future Holotape. It looked super epic. But yeah, I still felt like hella nervous. Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah, he's not used to like taking less gear, you know.
Yeah, I like to hide. I do.
Oh yeah, right. You sing.
Yeah, I
That's
sing.
not hiding.
No, but like it was funny because we had this conversation where I told her that when I'm singing, I don't necessarily look at anyone because I feel like I like to think that no one's there, and I'm just singing, which is super super weird. But yeah, I feel like if I were to just dead eye make eye contact with someone, I'd be like, well, this is game over. I'll like pass out.
No, that's me all the time. Like I try not to give people eye contact because then I'm like, it's awkward. Like I'm looking at you. Like, do I say hi? Do I like, like stop what I'm doing and go shake your hand? Like we're friends now.
Yeah, you look at them and then they look at you and they're smiling and they're just like.
Yeah, and I'm like supposed to be playing and I'm like, fuck, what do I do? This is awkward now. Like, do I wait until the end of the show and be like, hey man, like nice to meet you. Like we had a moment there,
Yeah.
like but I always do stuff like that where I do like accidentally like lock eyes with somebody and then I can't help but keep noticing them the rest of the night and then I'm like, I have to say hi and sometimes I'll like mouth like words at people and they're probably like, this girl is fucking weird.
Yeah.
But it's like so awkward. I'm like, what do I do? What do I say? Like, and that's why I try to only look at him because I say shit to him all the fucking time when we're on stage. All the time. And I'll make these faces because I can't help it.
No. I mean,
okay, that's what's wrong with him.
It's funny. I like that we have those conversations though, because sometimes she'll just be like when we played at Lot 1 and we were like jamming and then she's just like looks over at me and she's like, do the solo, and I'm like, what? All right. And then I'll just like, all right, I'm taking over this part and then just jump in.
It was supposed to be my solo and I was like, just do it.
And then she's like, nah, just take it. I don't know what had happened if you couldn't, like,
I think I was
something
having
happened
issues.
with the sound.
Yeah, I was having issues with my keyboard and I was like, fuck, like I don't want to do it because like it's gonna sound super shitty or it's gonna cut out or something. Yeah. I think it was that time where I think my power adapter was like fucked up, so the keyboard kept turning off.
Yeah.
So I was like, just do it. And he's like, what? And I was like, do the solo. And he's like, okay. And I was like, fuck. I was mad because I couldn't do it. But it's like, it's good that we can like communicate like that and shit. And sometimes I'll just yell at him because I'm like, you're too fucking loud.
Oh, yeah, no, it happens. Because I'll be like, I can't hear it because sometimes they don't give us monitors. And I'm like, I can't hear my leads. Like, what am I playing? And then I'll turn it up, and then she'll be like, turn it back down.
Because it's like we like sound check and everything's perfect, and he starts like messing with the volume, and I'm like, don't you fucking dare.
Don't you touch that volume.
Oh, yeah. And then I beat him up afterwards, but like sometimes I'm just like, damn, or I'll like give him faces, like you did it, like.
You know what you did, you're in trouble.
But see, if I'm not making faces or like talking to him, I'm doing it to random strangers, like. I gotta stop.
So for those that don't know, you just mentioned a Lot 1 Cafe actually. Yeah. It's a venue in Echo Park, and if I remember correctly, you're the one that set up Flashbot there for a gig with other people with Digital Frontier, right?
Yes, sir. That's right. You guys.
What got you?
It's funny because I mean it sucks because sometimes we can't make it out to every single event. Like I remember Orax played there as well, and he came from Italy, and he was like, I just need a place to play, and like, don't even worry about it. And
that was super last minute too.
Yeah, but we had set him up with like 2 other artists there as well, and I'm like, I know you're gonna have fun because like the owners are great, like everyone's great, but I'm so sad that they closed it.
They did. Yeah. I was there, I want to say like 2 weeks ago. I was in the neighborhood, and when we drove by, it's a burger shack now. It's a burger joint.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And it is so crazy to think about it because it felt like it was just yesterday that we played there. And yeah, it was sad. It was a fun venue. It was really intimate. It was cool. The audience was dope as hell. And what I wanted to know is what got you into doing your own synth events? Like, what made you go that direction? I know most artists don't, they don't teeter on that. Yeah. What made you go down that direction?
For me, it was just the fact that we had played at a lot of locations, and I don't want to say like what locations, but like a lot of these venues end up like taking money from you, and it sucks because it's like being the artist, it's hard to make money, you know what I mean?
But it's not even like about like so much, well, at least when we were starting, like it wasn't so much about like just making money.
No, yeah,
it was like
not.
You know, if we wanted to keep playing shows, we had to do something. We had to make some sort of income so we can pay to travel, pay to do that stuff.
Yeah,
you
to
know?
expand, you know?
Yeah, to do more stuff like further away, different areas, and that was really hard. And then you know, it was hard to get people to want to come to our shows because the people who were booking us at the time, they were like, oh, just electronic music across the board, got it. And they would book us with like other electronic bands. They were like goth, industrial, hip hop,
and
you know?
it's just like we played a show once with a punk and metal band, and then we
because they were like electronic mix.
Yeah, you know? And it's just like it happened so much, and we just felt like that's not how you create a community, you know?
Well, it's hard to get into it as a musician playing a show when other people aren't performing like the same type of music, you know? It's like if you go to a club and, you know, like one song is like fucking metal and the next song is like, you know, freaking hip hop or something, you're like, oh, okay, I have to like do this mentally like whole change. Yeah, I have to mentally prepare myself for this versus like, oh, you go to a club and it's like, okay, I'm gonna go listen to like, you know, 80s night or something, or like, you know, like it's just different. You had to like really prepare yourself for that, and it was hard to get into the mood also. And so we decided to start putting these events together, you know, not only to help ourselves like
but to help
play shows that were just synthwave concentrated,
yeah,
but to also like help some of our friends, because we had a lot of people that we spoke to in the community who were great musicians, but they weren't performing, because that was another thing. A lot of the people in the beginning, like back in like, you know, 2013, like just they weren't performing, you know, they didn't know how to like where to start, you know, like everyone thought like, oh, I don't have any hardware, I can't perform because I don't have hardware, or they were like just too nervous because they didn't know if people were going to like it. And I think it also helped just promoting an event as a synthwave event, because you have people going because they're already interested in that, you know? So I think that also like helped just get like a load of like anxiousness and nervousness off of like some of these newer artists who had never performed before. And I mean, that was a big thing.
Yeah, I mean, also once you are like already playing shows, when you have a place that it's free and you start selling merchandise, you're more inclined to like get people to buy it, and then you could create a revenue for yourself. And that was another thing we were like always pushing artists to do, is like make merch and sell it, man. And then, I mean, it's a free show, and with more people coming in, it was better. And then a lot of people just kind of started helping us out, like the people at the Echo and the Echoplex, and it became like a bigger and bigger thing.
Yeah, and we had like different tiers for like different musicians. Like if they had never played a show before and they wanted something more intimate, we'd use places like Lot 1.
Yeah,
you know,
like,
but if they were
we'd
like,
call it Digital Frontiers.
Yeah,
and
yeah. And
we, for other people that are like, you know, freaking 5-6 years in, and it's like massive fan base.
Yeah, or they're like touring and they needed a place in like LA, then we had like bigger venues that we would try to hook them up with.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's tough, man. Like when you're doing a big show, it's like there's a lot that goes into it. Like you're like that 1 week you gotta be like doing everything. But it's like totally worth it, especially like say for instance the last show that we did. It was at the Echo. It was with Droid Bishop and Betamax. Right. That was so much fun. Like, you know,
that's amazing.
Yeah, like he flew in and we had like a whole long conversation. We hadn't seen him since we were in Rhode Island.
Protector 101 was also
Protector
there.
101, that's right. Dreamwave.
Yeah. Dreamwave Dave.
Yeah. And everybody just gets together and they do their thing, and then Street Cleaner popped up and I was like, oh, bitches, we. No, it was it was a lot of fun, but it's also a lot of work. Man, I
For
honestly
sure. I mean,
I was just gonna say I miss doing
please.
the smaller shows. Like I
I was
personally.
gonna ask.
Sorry.
You just named some like awesome fucking artists, Joy Bishop and Betamax and just Street Cleaner. Love that guy. What are some of your favorite acts that you've worked with, or better said, that you've helped grow?
Well, I mean, I don't know. A lot of these people could just end up developing themselves.
Yeah, like I mean,
it's-
like I'm sure we've helped each other out. You know,
Yeah.
it's not like I feel like we can't say like, oh, I take credit for like this person getting this way, you know, like getting as big as they are or whatever. You know, like we've helped each other. It's a community, you know, or at least it has been. And you know, like whether it's us asking people to play a show or somebody asking us or vice versa, because I mean we've been there too, where it's like, hey, like, you know, we're gonna play a show in your area, like are there any venues, or do you want to like play a show together or something like that? You know, it's like a synthwave circuit, like we all kind of like scratch each other's backs and stuff like that. And it's more so because, you know, we're just all good to each other. You know, you're chill and you're fun to be around, then people are gonna want to help you out. You know, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, a lot of these guys really push their own drive. Like, it's crazy when someone goes from I'm nervous, I really don't want to play a show, and then you know, like when we've got some of these artists, it's like, dude, you are amazing. Like, quit playing games. Like, you're gonna go somewhere.
Well, like Dance with the Dead, for example. Like, I mean, like we played a couple of shows with them, like both in the beginning of you know, them starting to play shows and like later on. And I mean, those guys busted their asses to get where they are right now.
Yeah, they,
you know, and that's something that's come from within themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
Every single show, I think it was just like bigger and bigger and bigger, and it takes a team of people to really get it to that point, like where they're at now.
Yeah.
But I mean, everybody's just developed from the last like 6 years. It's just complete 360. Yeah.
No, I completely agree. I remember one of the people that came to that one show that I played actually saw Dance of the Dead there as well. I think that was, he said, the first Digital Frontier show, or I don't know exactly.
Oh, was it?
A few years back, but he said
possibly
he saw them DJ there, like even before they did like the guitar thing or something.
I think
was
it
really
was
cool.
like the first official, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. There was no guitar for that show.
Yeah, no, I think that was one of their firsts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Do you guys book? Well, you said you book outside of LA. How far have you booked? Like, where's the furthest away that you've done?
Well, like, we've never like necessarily booked a show outside of LA, but you mean like an artist coming in?
No.
I mean like you guys going out, like booking maybe in OC or something like that, or you know, Arizona or wherever.
Oh, yeah.
Like where have you guys booked?
Well, like, typically,
that's
like
the furthest away from here.
Yeah, like typically we try to stay like within LA. You know, like anytime, like for example, like we've been asked or you know, by someone to play a show like outside of LA. We always like recommend or suggest, you know, people if they need it or whatever, or you know, just to throw in somebody's name to like hook them up, whatever. Or even if like some people have said like, hey, you know, I'm trying to book a show, or I'm trying to put a show together in this area. Do you have any like artists that you could suggest who have like performed for you guys who might be interested and stuff like that? So like we've never actually put one together outside of LA under, you know, Synthwave LA or Digital Frontiers or anything like that. But like, yeah, like we've helped people out, you know, if they ask, or
if we can,
yeah, or like I said, if we've been asked to play a show somewhere and you know they need somebody or somebody drops out, like, you know, we have a list of people who, you know, we know are always interested, always down to play a show, and who are cool peeps, you know.
Yeah.
So
For sure. I mean, I hope at some point that we can play a show together. Hopefully next year at some point. That'd be
Definitely.
Yeah.
awesome. That would be absolutely awesome because I'm dying to get back on stage, much like you guys are. It's just like being homebound. It's just like, oh.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
I know, it's rough.
It's funny because like we've spent most of our time just like programming lights or like really getting like the visuals and what we're going to be taking to shows together, but it just sucks because it's like, man, we could do a show right now if we wanted to, and we can't. You know, it's a drag, but it is what it is, and maybe it's for the best. You know, we'll all prepare, and it's gonna be like a crazy thing when it comes out. I'm sure there's gonna be like crazy shows that are all gonna happen at the same time.
Oh yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I really, we were supposed to go to France, and I'm so sad that didn't happen. It was gonna be so good because we were gonna play France, then we were gonna go to Hungary, and I mean, next year hopefully it like we can get it together because it takes a lot to like plan and put it together to make sure it's gonna work.
I'm glad we didn't go though because we would have gotten stuck.
Yeah,
in April.
Yeah.
that would suck.
Yeah. Okay. See you never, guys.
Yeah.
that's crazy. So for 2021, your plans are hopefully reaching that Europe market.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
touring, you know, just
play more
playing,
shows,
yeah.
places we haven't been.
yeah.
You know.
I think it's awesome because when we go, like I'm telling you, we never really have a bad experience. It's just like we go, we meet great people, we play a show. I mean, you're doing what you love, and then I think the sad part is just leaving, you know.
Yeah.
And it sucks because like sometimes like Rhode Island or when we play like Portland, you meet amazing people and you're like there for like a day or two, and then it's like you gotta go. That's the suck part.
Yeah, that's the hard part about touring. You know, you meet cool people, you make great memories, but it's literally people don't they don't realize you do this every night. You meet so many people, you make so many awesome connections, but when you come back around, those same people come out, and it's like you never left in a way. I love it.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is
like
definitely true.
Yeah, and if anything, it just makes us more anxious to like go back
And hang out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So for 2021, do you guys have a album planned maybe at some point?
You know, it's funny because after we released Dreaming of Connections, we just kind of like took a break. We had a lot of stuff that we had planned and things we wanted to do, like we just got engaged. And
Congratulations!
Thank
That's
you. Yeah, dude, we're like super excited. So we're like planning that. You know, changing work wise, and then working on ourselves and other things. Because I mean, we've worked on music for so long. It was like not. I make it sound like that's the end. No, but it's just like right now we're just like we're really focused on a lot of other things. Of course, we're gonna be playing shows and like hanging out, but as far as a record, we just talked like yesterday about. Oh
like
man, yeah, we were like we should really start working on something. Yeah, we should, you know. So now we're gonna be starting. Probably not for next year. I don't think so.
I mean, who knows? Maybe it depends on how long this lasts.
You know, we should. Yeah, that too. But I was gonna say, you said how long, and I was thinking we should write a shorter record.
So those words mean nothing because like Dreaming of Connections was supposed to be a shorter record.
Yeah, we were like on the max, 44 minutes, the max, so that we could put it on vinyl.
We couldn't help ourselves.
Could not help ourselves.
Nope.
An hour and like 2 minutes. Like Jesus. Yeah. But I mean, you know, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe towards like the end of next year or who knows. Well, it depends on how things go. You know, like it might not feel like a lot is going on because I mean physically there isn't a lot going on, but at the same time there is so much. Like, you know, we have a lot of like planning to do, and we have a lot of like changes that we want to make, you know, and all of that stuff takes time and, you know, focus. So we just have to make time to sit down and write an album. So
that makes sense.
I promise I won't make it sound depressing.
That's amazing. Well, I really, really, really enjoyed having you guys on and taking the time with me. Do you guys have any closing words? Like, where can people find you online?
You can check us out on Facebook.
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
I was like, that took a long time to come out. Facebook, Instagram, Bandcamp, you know, the big three.
Yeah, we're also on Spotify.
Oh yeah, Spotify and Pandora, that shit. Okay. It's been too long. We're rusty. We gotta dust off the cobwebs.
I didn't understand that shit, man. Feel me about that. But that's awesome. I really, really thank you guys for being on. You guys are awesome. And I hope that next year, even if we don't play together, if we meet up somewhere, I'll get you guys a shot.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, hopefully we can get together sometime soon.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that sounds good. I will be signing off then, but thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us, man. Take care.
You too. You have a good night.
You too. Bye.